What's up, guys? Specstar here today, and I've got my first two battles of the pools round of the TTM's March Madness Tour, a 320-man tournament, and I am one of those 320 men. And in this video, I'm going to have my first two battles, and I want to explain that some things are going to be different in this. My commentary is going to be a lot more brief, and instead of doing a full team builder, I'm just going to kind of briefly recap my sets before the battle. And there's a few reasons for this. The first reason is, and the biggest reason, my team is literally 7 Pokemon, so my building's really not that much of a process. I built all 4 teams for the pools round in one afternoon. Literally, my team that I drafted, and I'll do it in order. First round, I took Landorus Therian, and I'll explain first that I was very much restricted in points. It was 90 points, which is 10 less than the usual 100, which doesn't sound much, but it can be pretty restrictive. And there are a few weaknesses with the team, but there's a few weaknesses with all teams, so we'll just see how well we can all play around it. Anyway, first round, I grabbed myself Landorus Therian. I had the 7th pick, and that was the best mod available. Next up, I'm going to take Zeraora in round 2. A, I love Zeraora. B, it only costs 14 points. Imagine that. Honestly, Zeraora is a solid 16-point mod. People weren't too sure about how good it would be. It's good. Zeraora is a round 1 pick. It should be 16 points, and it's even better in 8 mon. Or, in my case, 7 mon, should I say. But, round 2, I'm going to take Zeraora for 14 points. Round 3 is when I go and I take Weavile. I'm trying to remember if I took Weavile 3 and Suicune 4 or Suicune 4 and Weavile 3. I think I took Weavile 3 and Suicune 4, but I have a 50% chance of getting that right. Weavile, just the best mod available, and when you have something as fast as Zeraora, getting something in Weavile's speed tier is very nice. Plus, it's got great offensive synergy with Landorus. And then round 4, or maybe round 3, whatever one it was, I'm going to take Suicune for 12 points. Yeah, I'll take the best bulky water for 12 points any day of the week. Round 5, I'm going to go ahead and grab myself Mega Medicham. And Mega Medicham is a very good mon in 8-mon format. I like to say Mega Medicham in 8-mon format, it's either busted or it misses. There's no middle ground for it. There's no being an average contributor. Busted, misses. One of the two. And then next up, I'm going to take 11-point Roserade. I'll snatch up Roserade for 11 points. Roserade's a great mon in 8-mon format because it has versatility to be a wall or an offensive mon. Plus hazards, as removal is very scarce. And you're generally going to get hazard stackers in the lower point tiers. You're not getting many low point mons in an 8-mon format, so Roserade with spikes and T-spikes is valuable there. And then lastly, in round 7, the mon you can't see that I didn't bring, with my 4 remaining points, I'm going to take Steelix. Basically, I didn't have a Steel type, and Steelix was there for 4 points. Steelix is pretty good. I mean, it's a little redundant with Landorus Therian, but still, it was the best mon there for 4 points, and I needed a Steel type, so I'm going to go ahead and grab it. And starting off here, in my first battle, I'm going to face Clyde, who's got a Mega Charizard X, Jolteon, Musharna, we know all too well about that Pokemon from LD, Clefable, Skuntank, and Quagsire. And I've got myself a team of Mega Medicham, which is dual priority with Drain Punch and High Jump Kick, which is just kind of what I liked on this team. By the way, I learned something very interesting building. I learned that Mega Medicham can't run both Bullet Punch and Double Edge at the same time, nor can it learn both Bullet Punch and Mega Kick, so that was pretty weird. So I thought about going with Return instead of those moves because I did prioritize Bullet Punch. An important lesson that you'll learn playing 8mon is that dual priority Medicham is busted in 8mon, and I didn't want to forfeit Bullet Punch, I'd rather forfeit the normal coverage. I thought about running Return or Frustration as a substitute, but I thought basically High Jump Kick after Stab, what is it? It is just about the same amount of power as a Return when a not very effective High Jump Kick is very similar in power to Return. So I thought instead of running Return, I'd just get the move that doesn't miss and Drain Punch to make High Jump Kick even stronger. And next up here, my explanations are just as long. I might as well have pulled up the team. Anyway, I've got a Landorus, which is Groundinium Z. I'm max HP, max attack. It's well, I guess you'd say it's a soft check to Charizard X, but that thing comes in, and Landorus comes in on it and then beats it, so it negates the thing's setup ability for Charizard to really get past Landorus. It needs to come in a few times and throw off an attack, but considering there's no hazard removal aside from Skuntank and I have Rocks, I don't imagine it will be coming in and out too much. Got a Banded Weavile, nothing too special there. A Zeraora, which I'm running an Expert Belt on, and I've got the coverage with Plasma Fist, Knockoff, Close Combat, and Grass Knot, and my last move, which was Outrage. There we go. Remembering these sets, you can... Not that I'll be any better with the game I did today, but this was a game I did yesterday, so... I've got Suicune, which has got max HP with a little bit of special defense and a little bit of speed for the rest of it. I've got Sub, Protect, Surf, and Ice Beam. Based on his team, considering his physical attacker is Charizard, and that thing doesn't get burned, and the rest of it, I just wanted to run Surf instead of Scald. The more damage was, in this case, I thought more important than the burn chance. And lastly, I got Roserade, which I didn't actually expect Skuntank to come because there was nothing for it to pursue trap, and I had... Well, I kept offensive pressure on it generally high, and if I did bring Steelix is a pretty damn good answer to it, so I didn't think it would come. And my Roserade's especially defensive Toxic Spike layer. I prepared a good deal of my plan around Toxic Spikes, but Skuntank actually coming threw a little bit of a wrench in that. And I had Synthesis. I think I had Hidden Power Fire or Rock and Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain, right? Sludge Bomb and Giga Drain, I think, for the last two moves. You know what it was? And it was none of that. It's Sludge Bomb and Leech Seed. God, this was one of my worst performances remembering the team. But anyway, I should get this battle going because, spoiler alert, it is many turns. He leads Clef, I lead with Landorus. I'm just going to get my rocks up, and he goes raid for a Cosmic Power, so I'm staring right at a threat. I'm going to go into Roserade to just kind of feel this thing out, and I'll throw up the Sludge Bomb on it. I just kind of want to get more information on the set. He's Kabia Berry and physically defensive is what I'm going to get from that, so that's some relevant information. He goes for Fire Blast, but I munch that up because I'm especially defensive Roserade. Now it's time to go into Suicune, and we're going to have a little bit of fun. Cosmic Power, I don't really break the thing too well with my team, but Suicune wins any PP stall war because of pressure, so that's what needs to be my answer to this thing. I apologize to you guys for Suicune being my Cosmic Clef answer. You know how stupid that thing can be, though, if you've played with Clefable much, so I'm going to skip turns. The longer I'm staying in and screwing around with Clefable, the better, because that thing's just running out of PP and it's really losing a lot of what it has to offer in the game. Let me skip back and see how much PP it ran through. That thing went through half of its Moon Blast, so I'm definitely considering that exchange. As boring as it is for you and as boring as it is for me, I'm considering that one a success. I will say that the one redeeming thing about this game, as long as it was, is that Clyde was really clicking his moves quickly, and I always click my moves really quickly, so it went a lot quicker than you might have thought. It wasn't like one of those hour-long games you see people do where you just want to, It's not one of those. Anyway, I just keep throwing off moves here. I'm not going to get too conservative about my Surf or my Ice Beam PP until I have to, so I'm content to just throw off my attacks. Once I get low, I'll start to save them. One of the reasons I was so liberal to throw off my Surfs here is because the longer I was staying in with Kuhn on Clef, the more Kuhn was winning that exchange, so I knew eventually he's going to have to switch out. And he did. He goes into Jolteon. I get off some decent chip on that thing with my Surf. And I am all the way at full health behind a sub. I'm just going to protect up here as he goes for Thunderbolt. Good way to get PP off that thing and some information on it. He gets a Life Orb damage. One of the big reasons I protected is if he was locked in, it was interesting for me to see if it was T-Bolt or Volt Switch, and I could adjust myself accordingly. So I'm going to get that thing down in a rock range, and he most likely does not have removal, which is nice. I'm going to go in my Zero Aura knowing he has to click an electric move or switch out, and Zero will click knock off there. So he goes into his Charizard here, and I actually have a decision to make where I could click Outrage here and just take the Charizard down. It's not first turn Mega, but in the face of an electric type, he's going to Mega, because Zero Aura can run striking coverage, but he usually doesn't. I could take the thing out here with Outrage, or I could switch into Landorus. And the reason I may not want to just click Outrage right away is my team's not particularly scared of Charizard X, especially with the rocks up, and I have a lot of priority. I get the Ice Shard on the Weavile, and I've got the dual priority on the Medicham. I'm not too scared of this thing, and if I lock in Outrage, Clef gets to come in and do a good deal of damage on Zero Aura with Moonblast while I click Outrage on it, and then I get forced out, so it's not... I'm going to lose a bit on Zero Aura to take out the Charizard. I decide that instead it's more important for me to keep Zero Aura healthy, and I'm going to go into my Landorus here. So his Charizard is going to Mega Evolve, and it is going to go for a Roost, I believe. Yeah, right for the Roost. Here's where I just click Earthquake. I'm adamant. Quagsire is not a switch-in. Musharna is not a switch-in. Quagsire is going to get weakened. I'll be happy to take this thing out here with my Z-move. One less Mon to deal with. One less fat part of the bulk core. And I'll take that thing down with my Z-move. He's going to bring in Skuntank, and, I should have raised red flags, but I really didn't put too much. I got into a point in this game where after the Suicune Clefable exchange, I just kind of stopped calking, and I just kind of started clicking moves. The Skuntank came in, that should have raised a red flag to me. 100% it should have, but I just clicked Earthquake anyway, and I'm going to get punished for that, as I rightfully should have, and my Landorus is going to go down to the natural gift. That's good prep on his behalf. So I'm going to bring in my Medicham here. He's going to go to Musharna. I'm just going to go for my high jump kick. I don't see anything that's going to stop the HJK here. He goes into Musharna. That thing's damn near to a KO, but he's going to get forced out and lose one of his few PP. I'm going to go to Suicune. Suicune wins a stall war with this thing, and I didn't want to risk my Weavile taking a hidden power fighting. Once I see that this thing's not leftovers, I know it's Culver Berry because I have Weavile, and basically in this 7 Mon team I have, it's definitely coming. I'm just going to sub up here and kind of feel the thing out. I'll be glad to bleed this thing out of its PP. I do have to be careful because I need PP to stall out Clef too, so I'm not going to do this forever. I'm just going to kind of feel him out and see if he eventually gets forced to switch out rather than I. And he is going to go into his Charizard X here as I go for my sub, I believe. I do, and here I'm just going to switch out, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I'm actually going to make an aggressive play and switch out my Medicham Mega here. Medicham, not overly necessary at this point, and being able to deal with Charizard is its main thing. B, Suicune behind a sub, he knows, well, does he know I'm not toxic? he doesn't know for sure I'm not toxic, but there are some pretty good signs that I'm not that have made themselves apparent. So I don't think he's worrying about me being toxic overly. So basically, Suicune's going to look like setup fodder for this thing, so I imagine he's probably going to set up here, and I'm not going to be passive while he does that. I'm not going to screw around with that, especially since I let my Landorus go. And I'm just going to go oh no, his turn here. He's going to go for Sword Stance, and my play is just to click Fake Out. I probably would have just attacked this thing if I was max speed, but I wasn't. I didn't have much speed at all. I don't think, actually. His team didn't force me to run much speed on this thing if I didn't want to creep Zard, so I just opted with a bulkier Fake Out Medicham. I think I don't remember the exact amount, but it was not a lot of speed I had in this thing, so I am going to be forced out, and I'm actually going to go out into my Roserade and just kind of sack it off. Offer it as a sack. It covers the Flare Blitz play there, and then I'm able to revenge this thing. As long as the thing wasn't at full of health, and Roserade going into it there could make sure it would not be at full of health. As long as it was not at full of health, I knew that I would be able to take the thing out with Outrage if I had to. And I'm going to bring in my Zeraora here because it's basically the Pokemon that takes this thing out, makes him least able to switch out comfortably. And I'm going to click my Plasma Fist here because he is, based on the calcs, in range of my Plasma Fist. That's when I went back to calcing. And yeah, he was in range of Plasma Fist, so I'm going to take that thing out. Plasma Fist. Clef comes here. I'm just going to click Plasma Fist a few times, and it's not doing enough, but I'm going to try to bleed him out a little bit of PP for his moves, especially makes it easier for Suicune, and Soft Boiled is his most precious PP. Unfortunately for him, he's going to miss Fire Blast. He is doing a little bit of damage, but not too much that I think it would have been completely game-changing or anything like that. I just keep clicking Plasma Fists and bleeding the PP out until here he Soft Boils, and now I'm finally going to switch out here, and nope, I'm going to click Plasma Fist one more time. My bad. This time he does land the Fire Blast, going to do 30. Now I'm going to switch out his Suicune since he's forced to Soft Boiled. He'll Soft Boil, now we got more Suicune versus Clef, and I think this one went all the way. Well, not quite all the way, but it went pretty much all the damn way. I knew that Suicune would eventually win this, so I was not going to switch out. Eventually, he's going to switch out into Skuntank here as I go for my Ice Beam. I'm just going to get this thing in range of everything and click my Surf. It actually does show Defog, which surprising to see a little bit. I wasn't fully expecting him to have hazard removal, but the Skuntank's now going to go down to Ice Beam. It's going to be unable to break my sub because Suicune's a bastard. Macharna's going to come in, and I'm actually going to make the play into my Zeraora. I'm going to keep Suicune around because I still need it to PP stall what's left of that Clefable. And I want to go into Zeraora on Macharna because I want to knock off its Colbur Berry for Weavile later. And that way Weavile can force a KO. He's got 2 Mons left, which kind of switch out, and I just need to make sure I can force a KO. So here he's going to Moonlight as I bring in Zera. I'm going to click my knockoff here. He makes the right play and goes into his Clefable. And I think here I went back into my Coon. Yep, I went back in my Coon. Oh, he's going to go into Macharna. I thought I had to skip over more Coon on Clefable action. There's so much Coon versus Clefable, I don't even remember where it started, where it ended. Here I actually do go into my Weavile, and that's because that was the turn I forget why, but I was pretty damn sure he was going to click Psyshock there, particularly because I'm pretty sure he's Colbur, and he hadn't even revealed his coverage for Weavile yet, so I thought he might want to stew on it a little bit. But actually he does go for Dazzling Gleam here, which isn't too good for me, except it shows that it's not able to 2KO me, so I'm now content to click my knockoff here. I'm going to click my knockoff, he'll pop his Colbur Berry, And he's going to go for another Gleam. He's now definitely in range of another knockoff, so he's going to be forced out into his meta. He's going to be forced out for sure into his Clefable. I knew that, so I'm going to go into my Metacham and see if Metacham can force a KO here, particularly since Musharna is going to be too low to switch in on any move. And he goes into Clefable here. I'm going to fake the son of a bitch out, get a little bit of chip there. Now I'm going to go for a high jump kick. And high jump kick doing a clean 51. He's not able to comfortably soft boil it out. So he does go for a Moonblast, which now it's looking good because he is definitely going to be forced to choose a sack here as I go for my Bullet Punch. Clefable is going to go down. And now all that's left is Musharna. And all I have to do is keep the thing in range of knockoff. So I'm going to click Drain Punch to make sure I keep it in knockoff range. He goes for his Gleam here. Drain Punch, just making sure I keep it in the range. He's going to get up to full here, and I'm going to have to click High Jump Kick here to get it in the range of knockoff for sure. And knockoff's just the faster solution. Of course, Suicune would have beat this thing as well. I did not want any more Suicune PP stall. I had enough of that, so I'm going to risk the high jump kick there. And Weavile will be able to pick off the Musharna, and we'll get the 3-0 win there. You know what? I probably should have put the other battle on first, because I don't think everyone's going to be sitting through that game with the Clef on Suicune action. If you do, you're still watching this, I love you. But on to the next battle. I don't think I made that too much quicker. I don't have a slow commentary button. I have to explain everything concisely. It's probably my obsessive compulsive disorder. Anyway, here I am with my next battle against Frozen Turtle. And I've got a team with a Mega Metacham. Basically the exact damn same set. Dual priority, Drain Punch, and High Jump Kick. This is a set I'm not standardly running, but it just happened to be a coincidence that it worked out ideally in both of my first two matches, I thought. Next up, I've got the Landorus, which is physically defensive, and that's going to be my answer to Hawlucha, and that's exactly what it's for. I do not have another Hawlucha answer, so I'm running with a physically defensive Landorus, which has 3 physical attacks and Hidden Power Flying, because that's just the set that stops Hawlucha. I've got a Zeraora, which is Choice Banded, a Suicune, which is... What did I make Suicune this time? Right, I made it... I believe it was Toxic, Surf, Ice Beam, and Protect, so... It has Protect, but not Substitute, so I think it won't be as bad as the last one, especially packing the Toxic. I've got a Scarfed Roserade with Hidden Power Ice for the Garchomp, and I've got a Steelix, which is Adamant Life Orb with Rocks, and then Earthquake, Ice Fang, Fire Fang. Fire Fang covers Bronzong and Abomasnow, which didn't come, and Ice Fang, of course, is just for that Garchomp, and it also helps a little bit with Hawlucha. So he's going to lead off with Arcanine. I wanted to lead off with my Steelix to try and get Rocks up since he doesn't have much for removal. I don't want to leave this thing in on Arcanine, so I'm going to switch out to my Suicune here. He's going to go right for the Flamethrower. I'm going to click my Toxic, which covers his play in a Suicune and covers him staying in anything but Bronzong, which would be a weird play since he doesn't know if I'm sub yet. He goes Coco. I get off a Toxic on that thing, and instead of going for Protect, I'm actually just going to go directly into my Steelix, because I thought on the first turn, after I click Protect, I feel like he would definitely make a prediction, but before I click Protect, I thought he might have attacked what was in front of him. So I went into Steelix right away instead of going Protect. He goes into Suicune. I'm going to go into my Roserade, which is my designated answer to this thing. In case it wants to do some annoying PP stall, I actually have both Grass Knot and Giga Drain. Grass Knot is basically specifically just for the Suicune. And I'm going to make an aggressive play here in my Zeraora. A hard play into my Zeraora because I thought that he was going to want to switch out. Switch out definitely on the Roserade into potentially Oh, it could be a few things. Bronzong was the particular one I was thinking about, but he actually just goes for Ice Beam on the Rose Raid. I'm not really sure why, because he would have took a ton, particularly from Grass Knot, which does 120 to Suicune. And he's going to freeze me, which sucks a lot. There's their aura out. I'm going to switch hard into my Rose Raid because I do not want to leave my Zero Aura out there to be potentially setup fodder or give Garchomp a free switch in. I'm going to go into my Rose Raid. He goes into Arcanine. Not what I was expecting. I'm going to go into my Suicune here. He's going to go for another Flamethrower, so it's looking like it might not be toxic, which makes things easier. He goes into Coco. I click Scald. Scald hits his team pretty damn well. I see that damage and I'm thinking, okay, this thing's probably going to be Assault Vest. And then he shows LaRousse, so he's bulky. That's good information to know, but Steelix is in now. I get to click my rocks. Bronzong comes in. I get a Fire Fang that do a ton because I am Sheer Force Life Orb. He gets up his rocks. I predict him to switch out, and I'm actually going to click my Earthquake. He's physically defensive Suicune. That basically bounces off. So I'm going to go into my Roserade here, which is basically my Suicune switching. Things get a little bit of chaotic as he roars. Landorus is, of course, switched out. I'm not going to risk it being faster than me, so I'm going to hard into Roserade again. He goes for Ice Beam. I believe I just clicked Giga Drain this time, because last time he left it in. I do go for my Giga Drain. He goes into Bronzong. It's not getting to a KO, but I get a little bit of health back, which is important with the rocks up. I'm going to bring in my Steelix, which I know the Bronzong can't really hit. Worth a damn anyway. And I'm going to go for Fire Fang here, see if he wanted to just let the Bronzong go since last time I clicked Earthquake predicting. He doesn't. He goes into his Suicune, so I'm going to go into my Suicune. And based on his set, he can Toxic me, but my Suicune, kind of the way it plays in this game, it's not staying in for too long anyway, so that's not the end of the world. But he Scalds, and I'm actually very happy. For the first time in my life, I'm going to say I was happy to be burned by that Scald. That means I can poison him, he can't poison me. So here I believe I just went for Toxic. No, I am actually going to make the aggressive play in a Roserade. My bad. Roserade covered him going into... I remember the play now. Roserade covered him going into Coco, as he actually does here, and it covered him clicking Toxic, which I thought he may... No. No, I was burned. What the hell am I talking about? It covers him going into this in particular, which kind of the most likely thing since this thing's already poisoned and the Suicune is not poisoned. He doesn't want it to get poisoned. I bring my Roserade in. He doesn't know I'm Scarfed yet, so I'm going to go for Sludge Bomb. I thought he may think I'm bulky considering how aggressively I've been switching in this thing earlier, so I'm going to go right for the Sludge Bomb, and I am going to be able to catch him off guard there. He's going to bring in Garchomp, but I'm locked in a Sludge Bomb. I'm going to go into my Landorus here. The reason I'm going to go into Landorus, my initial game plan was to keep it healthy for Alucha, but Coco's down here, and he only has so many turns of the electric terrain to use up his seeds, so if he wants to get Alucha in, he's got to bring it in on the Landorus, which isn't going to work out for him. So I'm content to use my Landorus here on the Garchomp. He's going to sub up. I'm just going to break that thing with Earthquake as he Sword Stances. And here I'm going to U-turn to bring in Roserade and save my Landorus here, since Earthquake wouldn't take it out. But Roserade can potentially take it out. He doesn't know yet what Hidden Power I am, so I might be able to catch him with my Hidden Power Ice here. But he makes a smarter play and just sacks off the Bronzong, which will be 2 KO'd by Hidden Power with that big crit. Gonna get the 2 KO there. He brings in a Suicune. He definitely knows I'm locked. I'm gonna have to switch out into my own Suicune here. Since I'm burned, my own Suicune becomes a pretty damn good switch in on the thing, with Scald not doing much at all. Here, I believe I just went for Toxic as he goes into his Hawlucha. That thing is not very scary to me at this point. I'm just going to go into my Landorus. It's weakened, but I'll get the drop on him, and he's not going to do too much with his attacks. And watch this. You ever see a plus 1.5 acrobatics to 26? That's a fat nothing. Landorus munches on that. That was boosted, by the way, and then the Hidden Power Flying is going to take him out. I sack Landers to the Garchomp and then bring in my Roserade. He is now, with his Garchomp, officially in range of Giga Drain. Based on what I can tell from his set, he's almost definitely in range of Giga Drain, so I get to click that. Even if he goes into Arcanine, I'm going to escape Rock's range here, so there wasn't much to lose by clicking Giga Drain. And I bring in my Suicune, which is a pretty damn good response to his Arcanine. He's going to roar me out into Mega Medicham, and I'm just going to high jump kick, see that thing go down. Mega Medicham, this thing's either busted or it misses. Here I click Drain Punch because if he did kill me, I brought in Roserade and Roserade cleaned up. So I click Drain Punch here, and that thing goes down, and now Suicune comes in and Medicham's just going to wrap things up with a high jump kick. Nope, misses. Either busted or it misses. And now Roserade's going to come in to clean up this mess that Medicham's created, and Giga Drain will wrap it up. And in these two battles, we're going to be 2-0 plus 7. Shout out to those of you who are still here, even after the first game, which in hindsight, I definitely shouldn't have made the first game. I should have started off with this one, but I always do chronological order, so I went with this one. But if you're still here, I love you. That's going to be it for this video. We're going to go 2-0 plus 7, which basically means we got to win one of our last two games. At this point, I haven't even played them, so I got no damn clue what's going to happen. But hopefully we can pull one of them out. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a jackass that started 2-0 plus 7 and didn't escape brackets. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Have yourselves a good night.